Alright guys, welcome to another tutorial, and on today's tutorial I'll be completing the part 2 of the good news design. I already started, and so if you missed that, please go back on my YouTube page. I'll drop the link to the video in the description of this video so you can go back to watch. If you're the type who really loves Illustrator and how it works, it will really aid you to see how I designed this brand mark good news for the design I did, and for design I did a couple of days ago, and I will be breaking down this part 2 in Photoshop. All right, and so without any much talk, let's just get into it. Okay, so here is the blank artboard. So I'll just be breaking down the layers and what exactly was going in my head when I was making these layers and all that. So if you look at the design, well, let's get back to this. Look at design, well, all these are practically just presentations I did, but the main design is this, and the screen design. That's part of that. I don't think I posted the screen design also. Okay, yeah, the screen design. So I'll be showing you guys. This is basically what my workspace look like. 1, 2, and 3. So I'll be breaking down the design in Photoshop to show you guys what it looks like. All right, and thank you guys for the comments, the likes, and the shares. I really appreciate. Yeah. So back to Photoshop. So my first artboard basically had this for my layer, like my background. So and this background took me quite a while, right? Like I would always say, my layers arrangement or the way I'm bringing this design is not the way I started or went about this design. This is practically just the arrangement of the elements. All right, so I started out with this particular background. All right, and I was looking for ideas on what to do and how to do it, and like good news, and I was tending towards the area of messaging, text message, and all of that. You get, it's like, okay, newspaper, and all of that. You get, so I typed in newspaper on Freepik, and I got this. All right, I got this picture. I think this is either Dutch or Russian. That's what the language is. All right, but I got it. I was like, what will I do with this? And I didn't need this fake news here at all, because it would definitely just be giving me so much problem. So I said, what will I do? But like, since it's black and white, let me just train a little threshold there to see what it makes of it. All right, so I went to my adjustment layer panel, I clicked on it, then went down to threshold, added threshold, right, and this is what I had. Like, oh, okay, now this is cool. All right, I could use this. So that's basically what was happening here. So threshold, the value for my threshold is 83. All right, so 83 was like the good spot for me to still have some details and leave out some things I didn't like. So 83 was a good spot. Then I added here on saturation, so just give it a little bit fade. All right, so my saturation is at 0. My lightness, I just cranked it up to 40. All right, so my lightness is at 40. Then that's that about that. Next layer should be this. Okay, so I added little colors on this background. If you look at this place here, you see some greens. Up top here. All right, so this is where the greens came from. I just created a layer, then painted over that layer. I wanted to do something else. Right, let me show you what the layer looks like. This is the layer normal, so this is what it looks like a spiral, do you understand, thingy. So that's what I wanted to put on this, but it's really working. I was like, okay, instead of throwing away that particular layer, let me see what it can do. So I just tried some blend modes, and it happened to be that overlay just gave me this. I'm like, oh, okay, this is chill. Let me just leave it as an accent there. Sometimes that's what we just do, trial and error, and it gives us something very, very sleek. Right, the next thing, I did the same thing for this other side. Right, if you notice, if I take it back to normal, it gives me this. So this is like a rubbish I drew with my Eon tablet. Alright, so change the blend mode to overlay, and it gives me this on this side. So same stuff, Next thing, you know what this is doing? It's just occupying space. Okay, I didn't group anything here. I think I grouped something before, then it wasn't useful. So let me just delete that. Alright, so next thing I have is this logo, Sunrise Prayers, as branding of prayers itself. Then I have a couple of things. So now I had to handcraft this particular thing here. So what do you have here? It's just like a text message thingy. So I had to, this is my first tryout on UI. Alright, so I was trying to imitate the text UI or the notification UI of the phone. So I looked for where to download it online. It wasn't just happening there. I just had to construct it myself. So it's quite tacky, but I think I made it work. So for you OP users, including myself, OP came through on this design. So not that they actually sponsored this video or anything, but OP, if you are seeing this video, I'm actually giving you thumbs up, so you guys know what to do. So here's the whole stuff. I converted it to a smart object, right, after creating it. Then I have this. So this is what's going on. So you have a rectangle, rectangle. So the rectangle has a drop shadow. All right, how do you apply drop shadow? Just double click on the layer you want to apply whatever stuff you want to apply. So I have my drop shadow. This is my settings for the drop shadow: distance 21, speed 0, size 24, blend mode multiply, and opacity at 35. Alright, so yours can be any parameters at all. So my stroke, I have size to be 5. Right, that's how thick I want it to be. The fill type is gradient. Alright, and my gradient is just the typical black and white gradient. That's the default gradient, black and white there. Then my angle is at 50, scale is at 100%. Then okay, that's what I have. The color of this particular hue of black, 25, right? So then I have OP, the text. This text is Legend, and I have this text also Legend too, but this one is bigger. The typeface is bold, that's like it's bolder, same typeface though, but this one is regular, right? Just to show hierarchy in both of them, just the way you have it on your phones. Okay, then the next thing is the reply 3 minutes ago. So all these fonts are basically Legend, but different weights, right? So this one is light, this one is also light, this one is also light. All right, right on top here. Then PNG rings, I went to download red hat. It's not a red, I think it was not a red hat, it was a black hat, so I just changed the color to red. Right, and there you have it. Then you have this icon here for this circle. So this is basically a circle, also a smart object. So I just maxed the OP logo over the circle, so you have it here. All right, so that's practically it to have this. And that's how I came up with all this into one smart object. And so you have this here. Right, so I was really proud of myself doing this. It was really very, very surreal for me. So I think I might go into UI probably sometime later, probably. Alright, so I also have a duplicate of this, alright, for it down here. So the same thing I'm doing for that of the same I did for this. So how did I duplicate this? So instead of doing the normal duplicate, what I did was I came over that particular layer, OP layer, I right clicked. So when you need to have two smart objects of the same type, you might be tempted to just copy and paste, but the thing about it is that whatever you do here will affect this. So for you not to have two same artboards whereby whatever you're changing here will change this, you have to make it a different copy. So you right click, then you come to new smart object via copy. Alright, new smart object via copy. So what it does is it creates a new separate smart object, but it's a copy of this one. So you are able to edit this without affecting this. Alright, right? So that's how I have this particular one. So this mama that is quite different. I got a picture online of a woman, old woman, mama, dad, same thing. I just changed this. I don't born twins. I don't ready for Omugu, or what God cannot do doesn't exist, blah 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 blah. So that's how I added that. Then the next thing is the Odogwu itself, the good news. So this was under it. This is above this, right? So this is the good news itself. I changed the gradient overlay. It was black formerly, so I gave it a green gradient overlay. So this is what is happening here. Gradient overlay green, right? This is the hue of green. So shadows to highlight on my shadows, this lighter green. On my highlights is a darker green, so same shade of green. Okay, all parameters just really remains the same. Scale 105%. So all these parameters, you must not use my own parameters. You can decide to do your own thing. So that's what I have here. The next thing, I have also a copy of all of this, right? Another copy up top here. All right, so same thing, same process, all copies of this, but new copies are smart objects, so that I'm able to change and edit them without affecting the other ones. So there you have it up close with all of this. So let's zoom out and see what else is going on here. So right on top here, okay, I just have a copy of this particular one, so I just flipped it, added a Gaussian blur effect. How do you do a Gaussian blur? Click on whatever you want to add Gaussian blur on top, come to filter, then come down to blur, another blur, Gaussian blur. So you have to now choose what exactly you want, how blurry you want it to be. All right, and so basically we use this blur effect to add the depth of field to our design. So it looks from a camera angle, it looks more like this is more in front and closer to us. That's why it's blurry. So by the time you're zooming into this particular design, this one that is further in front becomes blurry and all of that. So it has a way of adding depth to your design, making objects bigger and blurry. It has a way of adding depth and giving this form of camera transition, right, to your design. All right, so the next thing I have here is picture of the pastor Nubisi Rufus. Then his color grade, the color grade I use over this. So I've edited this picture already on Camera Raw. So I just added a little gradient map to fine tune the colors of this. So this is what I have here, but my gradient map of my color gradient is working in reverse. So this color brown is meant to affect the shadows, and this green the highlights, right? But what is happening here is I put it in reverse, right? This is it normal way, but I put it in reverse here, right? So meaning the highlights is now the shadows, and the shadows is now the highlights, right? So the next thing I have is this layer of white, because I needed to put some text over here. So I started adding my text. So this text should be Legend, okay, this is intro, sorry. And so is either intro or Legend for me these days. Alright, so I have Tuesday 1st July. If you notice the hierarchy in text, because of the weight, Tuesday 1st has more weight, July 2025 has a lesser weight, right, to drive in the message more. So you have a rectangle that something should be on top, venue, right, venue should be on top. This venue too is intro, 6:30 a.m. the circle around it. So this circle I have to give it the same gradient with this, so it blends well. Then I have a couple of other things here. This one, online, sunrise PND, blah blah blah. So the next thing I have is this rectangle I put under here to give this name and accents, right, under this, right, very nice stuff. Then I have theme, which is another font. This is Bohemian, yeah, Bohemian, like the Bohemian theory. Alright, so then you have rectangle, this rectangle, and a rectangle that is carrying the venue itself. That's the Love Challenge Research Center, which happens to be where I started my design career. Alright, so I have that. Then on top I have just this scribble I just added on top. If it has to be abstract, it has to be abstract. So I just added that at the top there too. It's a touch of banner. Alright, so that's that about Artboard 1. So Artboard 2 is slightly different, but almost the same principle. So we still have the background the way it is, right? Still have all of this the way it is, okay? So then you now have a grain flat stuff that some other things will come upon. Okay, so the same way we have this green over this thingy here and here, same thing with what we had there. Then same smart objects, all this. So now that I've duplicated this particular artboard into this, whatever I do here would affect this. All right, whatever I do here will affect this because they are both the same thing, except I now come and right click on this and now say new smart object via copy. All right, new smart object via copy. So what will happen? I have a different copy, then I'll now delete this. All right, I'll delete the one under. So now whatever I do here will not affect this particular one, even though they are identical. So I just had to explain that so that you guys will know once you're duplicating your smart object, there are ways to go about it so that you don't end up making changes here and it automatically affects this. All right, at the same time. All right, something to watch out for. Okay, so I have the good news. The next thing on that layer, sunrise prayers. Okay, then I have good news. So this particular thing, I just took it and just started spreading it on this particular stuff like butter bread. Right, so it came out nice. The blend mode is color dodge. I'm using color dodge for both of them. Color dodge at 46% opacity. Color dodge at 46% opacity. So yeah. Then the next thing I have arranged there is this. Okay, this other one, and I think another one on top here. So the same thing I have here is the same thing I have here. So what I just did is that I just nudged all of this up a little bit. Alright, if you notice it's not the same height with this. Okay, so the next thing I have is this at the top here. So instead of taking, I just took this from here and moved it to the right. Same thing here. Alright, so I have a picture, same color grading, all of that. Alright, then this at the top, text and intro. I think I just used intro on all of this. Then date, venue, same thing. So I changed the color because I'm changing the color of this. So I just changed the color of this. So give it a good contrast with this green thingy I have here. Right, very, very important to know how to contrast elements so that they stand out. Alright, so this stuff could stay here without the white it has here because it's contrasting well with both the green and his black suit. Alright, so we have hosts, Stanley BC Rufus, then team, Buhemi. Alright, then the other rectangles that will carry the venue. Alright, and I think this rectangle down here, and that's that with this particular layer. Right, we're done with this particular layer. The font here, sorry, is Bebas. I forgot, it's Bebas. Right, so now for the final one, which is for the screen. Right, I also designed for screen so that they're able to project, so they won't project just this one on screen, but it's not look very professional. So you needed something landscape, so I had to just change the orientation and the composition to make it landscape. So the same thing with the background I've always been doing. Right, same thing. Then I added some greens to this. So this is practically, if I turn off this smart filter, this is practically a rectangle. Alright, so I added a smart wave filter to give me all those spiky things. So I'll show you guys what I did to get this spiky stuff. So once you click on whatever you want to do, come to filter. Under filter, come to distort, then you come to wave. Alright, once you come to wave, you just mess around with the amplitude. Anyhow you want to mess around with the amplitude, you'll be seeing what it's doing on this spot. So see, right, if you look closely, you see it. Right, so that's how it's affecting the shape. Right, so I just love playing with that. I think that's practically that. Then okay, then gives me this, just made it bigger. All right, because I was going to put some things here, so I didn't want it to be all white. So next thing, the good news, same thing I did here. So what I'm also doing here. All right, so I did in the previous upload. So yeah, so good news, blending mode is color dodge, opacity is 31%. So I have good news here again too. Then I have my pastel, I have this, then I have this gradient because I was going to put some things here too, so I needed to make it darker, so I added the gradient fill. Alright, how do you add gradient fill? Come to this adjustment layer circle, click on it, you see gradients fill, you see gradient. So there are two forms of gradient, this gradient map and this gradient. So this gradient is the gradient fill I used, this gradient map is the gradient map I used to color grade. Alright, so I just needed to get that out so that you guys understand how I do it. Alright, so that's that about that. I added this gradient fill. Then the next thing I did, the next layer should be this. So this jaga jaga, I call it jaga jaga, it's just an element, jaga jaga elements, whatever you want to call it. For me it's jaga jaga. So I have online prayers with online sunrise prayers with PND. That's on Facebook and Instagram. On Facebook and Instagram, please follow Sunrise there. Then the same elements for the good news, these dates, 1st July. So now it's a different it has a different alignment, so it's all aligning to the right as opposed to the left. It was aligning to in those other ones. So different arrangements, different forms of alignment and all of that. Then the time, all of that, blah 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 blah. So this rectangles for the venue. All right, then what else again? Hosts and all of that. So all these are just practically elements that in other designs I just brought in here. So it's practically the same design but different arrangement. All right, so rectangles and this July beginning of the month prayers. Then you have the other elements, theme, and the other blah blah blah. So that's how I came about all of this. If you notice one particular thing, one of the things that really make my design stand out is the fact that I'm able to pay conscious attention to my alignment. If I bring my ruler this way, you notice that everything on this point is aligning, every single thing from this to this to this to this to this to this, all aligning to make it look so neat. If you check on the left, so I think about the same thing with this July, so if I'm not wrong. So you have all of that, and then this July aligning with the end of this one. Right, so this good news can decide to scatter itself, but if you look at it well, it really still aligns itself so well. Right, look at this. Right, so alignment, very very important and crucial to your design. If your design is actually going to stand out, you need to pay attention to some of these little small things. So regardless of how chaotic this design is, it is functional. All right, it's chaotic but yet it's still functional. You get the whole point, you get the whole play to the design, and gets fun like that. So next thing is the vibrance. All right, so I just add the vibrance to put icing on the cake, so it brings back most of the colors. All right, so you see how it pops without vibrance, the vibrance, without vibrance, with vibrance. Very very nice stuff. So my vibrance is at 79%, and this time I cranked up my saturation to +23. I don't know, for reasons best known to me. Normally I would not crank up my saturation, so but I did that in this design. So anywho, that's that. Then all I did was just to export, and there it is. There you have it. This design. So part B completed. See you guys in the next one. If you've gotten value from this video, please do well to like, subscribe, and also share. Drop in the comments whatever the next video or whatever you want me to cover in the next video, or make a breakdown of as far as design is concerned, and I'll do well to look at it. Thank you very much, and see you guys in the next one. Bye.